Suspended ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule and his co-accused will be appearing in the High Court in Bloemfontein tomorrow. They're accused of fraud, corruption and money laundering. Magashule supporters have indicated they will be gathering in the city this evening. eNCA senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is following the story and joins us live now from Bloemfontein. Hi Aviwe, tell us where you are, and have supporters of Ace Magashule begun to gather?
Not this evening, Sally. I'm outside the Bloemfontein High Court in Bloemfontein, essentially, but no supporters in sight, as we've seen the posters and basic media communique suggesting that those supporters will be gathering from the early hours of the morning. But from the NPA side, National Prosecuting Authority, saying that they are ready for tomorrow's pre-trial conference. You'd understand that 16 warm bodies are expected at the High Court in Bloemfontein. They're facing 74 charges, Sally, of corruption, theft, money laundering, as well as asbestos contravention. I mean, a lot has happened since last September, the 30th of September last year, when the first 7 arrests happened, appearing on the 2nd of October. You remember that one of the people that appeared there was businessman Edwin Swadi, after somewhat flashy arresting by the Hawks sometime last year. You remember that this is, of course, around the asbestos corruption, a tender that was given to Edwin Swadi's Blackhead Consulting, as well as Diamond Hill Trading, I beg your pardon, a 255 million rand tender, which you understand was subcontracted twice, eventually done for 21 million rand. That tender was to audit as well as remove asbestos roofing from the various areas around the Free State. But we understand only the auditing part was done for that 21 million rand, but nothing happened in terms of removing the asbestos roofing itself. So tomorrow we're expecting the pre-trial conference where matters that are in dispute will be looked at. In fact, if the state and the co-accused do agree on certain parts of the evidence, they'll put that aside in order for the matter just to speed up before it goes to trial. So my colleagues Pamandla Goga, in fact, caught up with the NPA spokesperson a bit earlier on just to find out if they're ready for tomorrow, and this is what they had to say.
As the prosecutors, we are ready to proceed with the pre-trial conference that will be taking place tomorrow at the Bloemfontein High Court before the judge. We will be engaging with the defense team so that the judge can assess the state of readiness of both parties in terms of exchanging documents, evidence, statements, exhibits that will be used during trial, so that they can properly prepare their defense for trial. We don't want any excuses when the trial date is set by the judge.
Talk to us a little bit more, Aviwe, about, and Ace Magashule has been fighting for this in court. He wants the NPA to hand over documents. He's saying they're withholding documents from him. Tell us about that.
Yes, Ace Magashule, remember, was at the time the Premier of the Free State. He was also arrested last year, appeared on the 13th of November. He's one of the 16 accused that are expected at the High Court in Bloemfontein. In fact, he recently said that he's taken the NPA to court wanting the full indictment, especially around the key witness, which we do understand used to be the personal assistant to Magashule, that is Moraudi Cholota, the personal assistant. We do understand she's the key state witness, but Magashule says that he wants, in order to prepare fully for the case itself and the trial, he wants those indictments to exactly know, in fact, what was said, so that he can then prepare himself. The state says that they haven't received anything in terms of a formal court complaint or court order talking to this. In fact, another conversation that my colleagues Pamandla Goga spoke to the NPA spokesperson on. Just take a listen to that.
We heard that he filed an application in court to compel us to provide him with the documents. We are yet to receive formally those documents or papers that he has filed in the High Court. However, in February, he was furnished with a full indictment on camera. Even if you can look at your files and archive and retrieve it, you will find that he was handed over a full indictment. Statements, disclosure was done. We're not sure what is it that is outstanding, but we'll hear tomorrow if they have any concerns about the manner in which we've conducted ourselves in terms of providing them with the documents. But on our part as prosecutors, our hands are clean. We have provided him with everything.
All right, so that matter, if there is a concern, is going to be dealt with tomorrow. Talk to me, has there been any word from Ace Magashule himself in the last little while? And are you expecting a large crowd of supporters?
Supporters indicated in the media communique that we saw ourselves circulating, suggesting that there would be a motorcade in the early hours of tomorrow around 8 a.m. as also a march, hands off Ace Magashule march, which we do understand. But the ANC in the province has distanced itself away from those going-ons and those media communiques, saying that they will not be officially partaking in that. The last we heard from the suspended Secretary General of the ANC was when he said that he took the NPA to court around that indictment issue, saying that he wants those full disclosures. But tomorrow we're expecting the pre-trial conference to kick off, where basically, Sally, they'll be looking at issues that are in dispute. You remember that 74 charges, so you can expect a lot of witnesses. I remember even speaking to the then NPA spokesperson, Sipho Ngwema, suggesting that there are more than 40 state witnesses. So tomorrow they're basically ironing out, even comparing notes, basically looking at the evidence, and the defense given an opportunity to say whether they oppose or not some of those matters. And the matters that they do not oppose will be set aside in order just to speed up then the issue. 16 warm bodies expected here, as well as the suspended ANC SG Ace Magashule and that prominent businessman Edwin Sodi. Remember that last year in October, when some of the assets were seized, including his Ferrari, including his Bentley, as well as a black Porsche Cayenne, and his property, we understand, frozen as the NPA tried to recoup some 300 million rand, around those 255 million rand tender back in 2014, when Ace Magashule was the then premier of the Free State.
Thank you so much, Aviwe Mtila, coming to us from the High Court in Bloemfontein this evening.